We
fucked
tried.
around, and now we're finding out.
I showed you that mod, right? The best FE mod of all time. In fact, I know I have. I posted here. Oh, that's right. I do have a good thing for the space. Hang on. I do have a really good thing for the space filler.
Wait, hold on.
Although there's not much space to fill. There's not much space to fill, but I do have a good FE4 meme even for it. In fact, one that's perfect for tier lists. Perfect for tier lists.
I can't look at it because I can't minimize your window.
Because it's in Discord. Because it's in Discord.
All right, let me look on my phone. Let me look on my phone.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, Stella, but that's how it is on this bitch of an earth.
Oh yes, I've seen it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean you've seen this before.
Okay, and for some reason, tabbing away makes your thing disappear. There you go. All right.
Oh, my crop is weird. Whatever, that's okay. It doesn't.
Oh God.
I'm going to just ask you guys questions about each character you put on your list.
Okay,
so I guess let's do Emmett.
Before we go, what the fuck is wrong with the resolution? And
what?
When
See, that's what I was worried about.
It's doing the thing again. Okay, God.
What thing? That's weird.
Your thing is going gray when I tab out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure there's a setting in Discord to stop that. That's what I was worried about. That, but you were saying it was fine. It was only because you were streaming. But anyway, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna turn on mod view just in case more bots show up. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, this is no, this is actually a problem.
Here, since I'm not streaming, let me check my Discord settings. Oh, I am streaming. Let me check my Discord settings, and you let me know if anything's gone horribly wrong.
Will do.
But yeah, also just like the resolution, like I don't know what it is, but that's super fuzzy.
I mean, mine's shifting back and forth, but hang on. Let me try to voice chat and video.
All right, it's working now for some reason. Watch me tab away and it disappears again.
Well, it won't. That's the point. Discord is automatically pausing it, which you don't want it to do, and that's what I'm looking for to see.
So what?
I don't see anything. I'd have to wait. Oh, what is this? You could enable streamer mode and see if that works.
I'm already it's already enable.
Fascinating.
So like now it's showing up, but if I tab to go to the tier list, it's gonna disappear.
There, I'll also enable streamer mode. We'll see what happened.
Yep, it disappeared. See?
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. Also the crop got messed up again, but yeah, when you're all of our streams start with tech difficulties. I don't know. Yeah, the crop just does not look very good. I think that's on your end. You'll have to figure out how to have Discord not pause the stream while you're away.
I'm pretty sure I can't do that because okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just a feature that Discord does. Okay. Show my screen.
Yeah, hang on. I'll see if I can find something too.
Oh, oh, maybe if I pop it out. Oh, I cannot pop it out. Maybe if I pop your stream out, I'm saying. Alright. Now I need to change the crop again. Yes, I see now that's how it is on this bitch of an earth. Okay.
Says you can turn off advanced technology, but I don't know about that one.
Just a second. Discord, no, nope, that's not working. Yeah, but I'm popping it out, but it's not like here. Yes, done. Okay, that's. I think that's it. I think it's done. Okay. Now it becomes a matter of, these are. I'm trying to get the sizing correct again. Well, that's just stretching it out though. That does not look very good. All right, then stretch. Then we go stretchy. Yeah, no. Alright, and then I can see that the window capture on the side is a little bit overzealous, so that does give us a little more room if you want. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for some reason... Yes, I do. My only thought is just that mine's now a fair bit smaller than yours. Oh, that's fine. All right. Anyways, give me the cello for me. Let's take care of this. Almost done. All right, one. Good. Yes, this is. I feel like I'm putting my computer. Oh my god! It did the fucking thing again. Excuse me. No. All right. Good point. All right, there we go. And all his deadbeat dad glory, yes. All right. Speaking of deadbeat Lewin and deadbeat dad glory. All right, let's see. Good God, what is wrong with my? No, wait. It's Alec is the green one. Hold on, let me just pump this up. This is rookie. Okay, yeah, I don't know why it's doing it, but I can't see your thing anymore. Is it because you're tabbed out? All right. Well, anyways, cool. And now it's gone again. God damn it. All right. Because my computer's in the repair shop. It's it. And yes, he is here to ask the questions that will make us discuss. Yes. Um, sure, Alec. So I have my final one. Let's see. Lacking depth. One note, but fun. Interesting. Hold on one sec. Sylvia. Yes, with Sylvia. Yeah, so, and on that note, I was going to say, he's one note, he's fun, he's got, his conversation with Sylvia is fun, although you don't want to get it and give, I mean, okay, no, that's getting him to mechanics, I was going to say, because if his, Aline, that is the daughter of Sylvia and, Alec, is terrible, but, because she has Pursuit, and she can't use Pursuit with anything, but, getting away from mechanics, it's a fun support. It's fun. He doesn't have much else beyond, he's the carefree Cav, and Nausi is the, dutiful one. And if in terms of the Gen 1 characters, he is one of the less interesting, but he's got a fun moment, and so I'm putting him there. So I'm putting him there. Yeah. 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 Any questions, Axor? Or no? Because in the interest of not being here forever and ever, we're not gonna like invite questions on every character, but there's gonna be some with more discussion. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. Yes, she is. Anyways, Altena. Altena is interesting. I think that they don't really do as much with her as they could, given the context. But for the game and the period it is, and for what happens to her, I do think she's interesting. I think she comes a little bit too late and doesn't have the chance to have as much interactions as I would like. She has a really nice one with Cowprey, with Hannibal's adopted son, and her dynamic with Finn and with Leaf is good, but she doesn't have quite enough conversations for me to want to say that she's really amazing. I do think she's interesting, and I do think that in a potential I also think that the fact that she can't like form relationships, it makes some sense because of she comes so late, it's going to be really hard to. But then again, she's late. She's Yeah, but the main thing, yes, and the other part of it is that she is the second to last character you recruit in part two. So you recruit her in chapter 8. Well, no, wait, 7 is Through the Desert, and then 9 is Draco Knights of Thracia. No, 10 is For Whose Sake. No, not 9 is yeah, 7 is Through the Desert, 8 is Draco Knights of Thracia, 9 is For Whose Sake. You recruit her at the start of chapter 9. I'd say a third of the way through. And then you recruit the final character, Carpre, who is the little blonde boy, the sassy, not very sassy lost blonde boy that you will find later. You recruit him, I would say, a third of the way through. Anyways, I'm going to put her in interesting because I think that there is more that could have been done, but she's ultimately limited by her join time and her limited number of character interactions, but the ones she does have are good. There's just not enough of them. Yeah, I do like that you can use her to save Orion in the final map. It feels like a nice little reward for keeping her alive, and if you did, like I know that Orion kind of gets clowned on for, and he's not in this list unfortunately. Orion kind of gets clowned on a little bit for being a Eldigan, but done a little bit worse, and that's another discussion that we'll have once we get to Eldigan, who is soon. But actually, no, not soon. That's but Yeah, I actually misplaced them when I made my draft version of this list. But anyways, it does feel like a nice little reward that you can use her, and it is a nice interaction. Plus, it also makes the map a fair bit easier because you just have to have her down there, and then you don't have to deal with all the Wyvern Knights attacking Chalfie. I mean, you just have her. I mean, the green units are, I mean, they're Wyvern Knights. They're pretty strong. Granted, they're not going to do much against Julius, but you can also just have Altena just like, they're going to follow Altena, so if you want to keep them at... They're Loftus Mages and the Dead Lords and Julius, so yeah, you're right. Anyways, we've got two subunits, Amid, and I think this is, I don't know who that is. Oh, that's Anand. I mean, okay. Well, Amid is subunit, so I don't know. Anand, I mean, she's interesting. I don't know actually if I'd say she serves a role to save Sigurd's life at the end of chapter 3, and then die near the end of chapter 4 to kind of be one of another big major associate character death. She honestly serves more of a role in Lewin's story than anything, as kind of a demonstration, at least in his mind, of the consequences of his selfishness. I have not considered that, but I still don't. I still think that she's. I think that she's. I'm gonna put her less than Alec because she doesn't have like the ability to have multiple kinds of conversations, but she's not bad. Like, she serves a purpose, and that's not a problem. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on one second. Go ahead. Oh, well, fuck. Well, fuck. You have... Fuck. Okay, for some reason, you have not been getting, recorded. Oh, well, fuck. Well, fuck. You have... Fuck. Okay, I fixed it. So the short version is, I've been talking with Emmett doing tier lists because, I don't have my computer because it's been imprisoned for crimes committed in former Yugoslavia. And I don't have my computer because it's been imprisoned for crimes committed in former Yugoslavia. I was thinking of saying that, but that felt a little too long. And so we've just been going over our tier lists. just genealogy from a character design, a character perspective, story-wise, not a gameplay perspective. Otherwise, it'd just be Sigurd Selif at the top on my own. Genealogy from a character design. There's a few weird hiccups. I don't know quite why Emmett's screen is doing that, but it's doing that. Now you can hear a slight echo. Yes, that's because I was accidentally. Yes. Emmett has minimized their application. Well, it says you have. Nope, it says you've minimized it. It's not showing up. Okay. Well, anyways, so he put Anon slightly higher because than Alec because he thinks that she kind of has a bit more of an impression and a role. Yes. Anyways, so, yes. Okay, it still says you're offline, but let's keep going. Anyways, we have the power of pursuit. We have the power of pursuit. Arden, the boy, the slow lad, who you need to cart to not one but two distinct locations in the early game as the slowest unit with the lowest movement to get very important items. Yes, no, that's literally what Arden does I think in chapter 2. He goes, yes. So Arden is I love him, although he doesn't have too much. I don't actually know if he even has any conversations with the women he can be paired with. I know he has a conversation he unlocks if he is in a relationship where he talks about I gotta survive so that I can be with the woman I love and raise our kids together. Unfortunately, he has this conversation in chapter 5, so that doesn't happen. But still there? You think your desktop Discord died? Alright, Emmett will be back, but, should I wait? But, I will say, I will put Arden in, I will put Arden... Okay, he wants me to wait, so I will leave you all in dramatic suspense as I make you decide, try to figure out when I will be making use of Arden. Also, I'm just going to kill the music if there was any music happening, because that's just a little... no, I will not. What was I on? Alright, that's probably going to be an ad coming in. Yes, there is. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Question, if you're listening to the stream, Axor, can you hear music? Well, that's unfortunate. Never mind then. Yeah, no. You are back. Yeah. Anyways, so I will put Arden... I want to put him in interesting. I have to put him in OneNote, unfortunately, just because I don't think he actually even has any conversations with the women he's paired with. I was saying this to Axor, but he has a conversation in chapter 5 where he's like, oh god, I gotta survive so that I can, raise the children with the woman I love. And then it's chapter 5, so that doesn't happen, unfortunately. But I think besides that and his goofy antics in the early game, and I do like that, the game seems to know that he's not going to catch up to the Cavs, because he spawns in with 3 other Cavs, who are quickly joined by 3 other Cavs, and then the game immediately is like, hey, Arden, are you going to be guarding the castle again? Because that is unfortunately what he's going to be doing most of the time, except when he's not, because you need to cart him to 2 separate locations to pick up extremely important items. So I'm going to put him in one note, but not problematic, just because he's that funny by those standards. But I think if I was being more reasonable, I should probably put him under lacking depth. And, you know, I am going to put him below Anand, because I do think Anand has more of a role. Yeah. Yes. Cool. Yes. Anyways, so, and if you don't have any questions, Axel, we're going to keep moving, but I do think we need to pick up the pace a little bit. Ares. Yes. Ares. No, this is it's Ares because this is alphabetical order because it's Alec, Anand, Amid, Anand. Yes. So, so this is Ares. I think he's really cool. I think that I'm not quite sold on his whole, like, you know, I'm going to betray the guy who raised me because of a woman that I met like a few hours ago or something. And I do think that unless you get the conversation between him and Nana, his arc with Seliph kind of just doesn't go anywhere. But if you do get those things, then he's actually a really interesting character. I really like him. Yes, and I was going to get to that. And because even if you don't, he actually has a really good dynamic with Lean, even if you don't pair them. But, you know, pairing them is nice anyway. Especially because he is also going to be one of your best Gen 2 units. So I think he does benefit from having a support part. Yes, he does benefit from plus 10 speed, you say. Or no, plus 10 skill, sorry. I know, but anyways. Fun fact, Ares has a 95% strength growth. That's true. Anyways, I'm going to put him into moving. Maybe he deserves more to be in compelling, and I do have some hang-ups with him. I do think that, like, if you don't get those conversations, his arc just kind of fizzles, but if you do, it is really interesting, and he does have a good dynamic with Lean. Nice. Very good. Okay, I mean, that kind... I mean, I don't want to adjust too much based upon what you say, but that does kind of tempt me to put him in compelling for now. And I think I will. Just because you are... No. I think you're right. I think that my top two are probably a bit oversaturated, going to be oversaturated. Anyways, Arthur. Yes. Arthur, I like Arthur. I think that, unfortunately, he doesn't quite get as much screen time attention compared to Fee. But, well, actually, no. I say that, no, sorry, compared to Teeny. Compared to Teeny, he doesn't get quite as much attention, but a few scenes that he does have are quite good. His scene with Lewin, if Lewin is his dad, is really excellent. His scenes with Fee, both in, like, you know, when they first meet up, which kind of communicates their friendship, and also if they end up in a relationship, or even if they don't, are nice. And he has a really frankly awesome line that he delivers to Hilda during the final map. If you use him to fight her, it's actually pretty awesome. So I will put him under maybe top of interesting, maybe bottom of compelling, near back end of compelling. I agree. I agree on second thought. I don't necessarily know if I call them generic. I just think that there are a few too many places where I think, it could a little bit more could have been done. I did not get Horsetti, so I don't have the conversation of him with Lewin, but I do. Actually, no, wait. I'm sorry. I mixed it up. Zed has a convo with Lewin. I don't actually think Arthur does. Like, Teeny gets a conversation with Lewin, but I don't think Arthur does. For context, go ahead. For context, Horsetti is the nickname because horse plus Forsetti. If you have Lewin as the father of Arthur, which gives him the Forsetti tome and a mount early in the game, which is extremely broken. It's stupidly broken. Sed is arguably a stronger unit stat-wise. Sed is inarguably a stronger unit stat-wise with it, but you get Horsetti like 2.5 chapters earlier, and he's mounted, which Sed never gets, so it's frankly more of like your preference. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, so we got the big boy himself. I'm tempted to make this go later because this is probably going to be the longest discussion. Or we can just both agree that he's really, really excellent. I do think Arvis is one of the best written characters in the game. I think he's certainly one of the best antagonists that Fire Emblem has done. A lot. He doesn't fall into the trap that a lot of antagonists sometimes do, which is, their plan doesn't make sense. You're like, well, that's stupid. His plan doesn't make sense because it's not a good plan, and you know why it's not a good plan. You know why it falls apart because of XYZ factors. You get sympathetic moments. You get some really painfully unsympathetic moments. You're kind of left feeling confused. Yeah. So I don't have anything more to say. If Axor has any questions, then I'm happy to answer them. People of his heritage have a history in the setting of just being, like, lynched. So he has evidence. Yeah, so if people found... Go ahead. On yes, like unironically, yes. Yes. Cool. Anyways, I go ahead and put Aselio in subunits LMAO. Is this Ira or no? This is Ira. Yes. What am I talking about? Because alphabetical. Well, also alphabetical. I like Ira a lot. I think that she is actually. I think she's really, really interesting in Gen 1. I think that she is. I mean, I don't want to talk too much because A, I want to see if we can get through this tonight, and B, I think we kind of. I think that she's a really good character. I think that she's got interesting motivations. I think that she's got interesting conversations with the characters that she can end up with. Her conversation and her romance relationship with Lex is really good, and the Chapter 5 conversation with that is really moving, and so is her Chapter 5 conversation with Sigurd. I have no complaints. I would put her. I'm not going to put her in the top tier just because I want to have as few characters up there as possible, but I will put her in the second top. Yes. Any questions, Axor? Okay. That's fair. I do want to say that it might interest you that she is the first of the archetype that is kind of was made more popular with kind of. I don't want to say more popular with Lynn, but that with GBA of like the woman who is a sword master. Yeah, that's. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, which is funny because Ira lacks one of the consistent things in that archetype, which is like a drive to grow stronger. Like she doesn't have like I gotta fight you, I gotta get stronger. She's already established herself and her skills and doesn't have any need to prove them. Okay, so going on next to we've got Azel. I really want to put Azel a little bit higher because he's so interesting in terms of connection with Arvis. He's like Arvis. Besides in Gen 1, he's Arvis's only family member that you see. I just don't think they do enough with it. I think that there could have been a few chances for a few more conversations about it, especially closer to the end when, I guess, to be fair, they don't know that Arvis is plotting against them, but, as who, what the hell? I hear something, like, clacking. Oh, okay. I'm going to put him in, I'm going to put him near the top of interesting. I want to put him in compelling, but I'm going to put him near the top of interesting because I don't think they do quite enough with his connection. But I do like him as a foil to Lex. I do like his conversations and relationships with Tail 2. And with, I think he also has a really nice one with, he has another really nice one with Edain. So I'm going to put him at the top of interesting. Maybe bleeding into compelling. It's just they don't quite do enough with the fact that he and Arvis are literally half-brothers. Arvis mentions it briefly, and Azel mentions it briefly, but I don't think enough attention is put on that.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube, and
but he is a charming guy. No, not charming. He is like I find it endearing that he's kind of, even though he's not the youngest of the crew, he's kind of the baby of the bunch in a way that I like. Lex is kind of plays as his older brother in a fun way. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in compelling. I like it. I like Azel. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm still not gonna move. You know what? I am gonna move him, but not because of what you said. I mean, I also hope that they. Yeah, I mean, the other thing I would say is that I do hope that they lean a little bit more into the fact that, you know, Arvis's literal brother is one of your first party members. Yeah. Anyways, that's Beowulf. Yes, Beowulf. He has a few interesting conversations. He actually has a really cool one with Lykesis, and I'm mostly bringing up the ones that I got. He also has. It's also kind of sexist, but at the same time, it's interesting. However, unfortunately, beyond like that and like the context around which he is hired, he doesn't really do anything. I am gonna put him. I'll put him near the top of OneNote, and I'll put him near the top of OneNote because he kind of has like one good convo, and that's kind of it. Yeah. Edane. Oh wait, this is Bridget. I'm sorry. Bridget, I think, she's got a strong introduction and some strong build-up, but she otherwise doesn't have much of a presence, unfortunately. Except, you know, for the whole Thracia 776 thing, but we're talking about her in the context of Genealogy of the Holy War, where that is not a thing. So I do think, unfortunately, in that one, I do need to. I think I am going to actually maybe squash this list a little bit, although maybe I do have a couple of characters who I think are like even below this that are coming up, so I think I'm going to keep this, but I am going to put her like at the top of OneNote. Slight. Honestly, I'm actually putting her below Beowulf, I think, because she has like a good conversation with Edane, and that's about it. You know what? I'll put her above Beowulf. She has a good conversation with Edane. Yeah, it's not Danved. It's Devdan. Yes. 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 He serves a narrative purpose, and that's kind of it. Unfortunately, he's a cool old guy who dies to give you what he needs, but doesn't otherwise do anything else. I think he just goes here. Okay, that's true. Yeah. And that's fair. Said, if Said is Lewin's son, he's got such a great conversation. It's so good. It's the one where he just, he almost literally says, like, how's things? Because Lewin, the dad that he hasn't seen for, like, a decade and a half or so, if not more, basically is like, oh, hey, Said, how's things? And he's like, he basically explodes at him. It's funny because that's even less all like, you know, angry than the conversation that Lewin has with Fee, where Fee just gets so mad that she gains 5 points of strength, which is unironic. Yes. She does. If you have a conversation, if in Gen 2, if you have a conversation between, because Lewin is not a playable character in Gen 2, all of the conversations that he has with his kids are done through Seliph. So Seliph is like, "Hi, excuse me, I have somebody here who wants to meet you. I'm just gonna step away. Please don't kill each other." So if Fee has a conversation with Seliph, I think near the start of chapter 10, then she will talk to Lewin, who basically tells her to get over the fact that he abandoned her, and then she gets so mad that at the end of the conversation she gains 5 points of strength. Yeah, Father of the Year. Sed is interesting. I like him. I think that, again, trying to keep out of the context of Thracia, where he has his own separate story, they do a good job of kind of selling. No, I know, but like where you see more of it in detail. He has that story, and I think that he does have. Well, okay, fine. And that's fair. I'm gonna put him again at the top of interesting. I'm gonna put him, I think, below Ares, because I'll put him at the top of interesting because I think that there isn't quite enough. No, I'm gonna put him around Ares because I think that he has some really fantastic conversations, and they really do sell him as, like, he's been fighting this whole other, like, guerrilla war apart from Seliph, that he has the strength in most versions. Even if he doesn't have Forseti, he's a good unit, I think, mostly. So I think that yes, Berserk staffing mean. Anyways, so I think Sed is cool. He has some really good conversations. Remains one of my favorites with between a parent and a child in Gen 2. And he's just I also like his dynamic with Fee, with his sibling. It's nice. She also basically is like, she basically finds him and basically kicks his ass verbally for abandoning their mom for different reasons. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 Oh god. Oh my god. Yeah. So, going on to Kulain, you get him by winning enough arena matches, I think, in chapter 3, or chapter 2, sorry. And he really doesn't do anything, actually. I don't think he really has any conversations, compelling ones. Like, okay. Okay, well, fair enough. But that aside, I don't think he really does anything. I think that he doesn't have. No, he's a he's a really, really good foot unit. But unfortunately, I don't think he. Well, I meant more that unfortunately for this, he doesn't mean anything. I'm not gonna put him into lacking depth yet because he does. I'm really tempted. I really don't want to put a playable character there, but I think he might be my first. I really don't. I don't really want to, but it's just he's such a non-entity outside of his. Who did I pair him with? Because I had Ira and Lex, and then I had Lykesis and. Well, he does pass down really good growth, though. I'm trying to think. I think. I remember. I do remember. I paired him with Bridget. So, Claude Von Regan, voiced by Joe Zyja, is one of the house leaders of the 3 publicly advertised factions of Fire Emblem Three Houses, and excluding the secret 4th one and the secret 5th one that was you have to pay $20 to use. This Claude is he's actually really interesting. You get him so late. Sorry. You get him so late in Gen 1 that it's really hard to use him, but he is still responsible for some of the most important... Well, okay, that's true. And he has, the Valkyrie stuff, so... yeah. He is responsible for some really interesting and frankly really sad scenes, regardless of who you pair. And also a really funny one with Sylvia. But regardless of who you pair him with, and I think I did pair him with Sylvia, he finds a way to make them all work, and he is responsible for 2 of the saddest conversations in Gen 1 that are not directly tied to a character dying. One of them, big spoilers, is when he basically gets a vision that Sigurd is going to die, and their part of the quest is not going to succeed. And then in chapter 5 later, where he has a conversation to Sigurd where he kind of dances around that topic, but kind of implies that, and it's complicated, but he's really interesting. I will put him in compelling. Unfortunately, yes. Which is also unfortunately because it means you lose the best res growth and the best and the Valkyries. Yeah, the res growth doesn't matter too much. Yes. Any thoughts? Okay. Kypre, tab back in. There we go. Yes. Corpore, depending on how you translate it. Probably one of the hardest yes. Besides his dad. Actually, no, I was gonna say he's hard to recruit, but no, that's his dad. His dad's hard to recruit. True. I mean, he has an interesting conversation with Altena where he, basically overexerts himself to buff her res. And he has a nice one with his sibling, Lean. And, his recruitment convo is nice, but he otherwise doesn't really do anything or say anything. And he also is the last character you recruit, so he doesn't really have too much time to shine, unfortunately, character-wise or gameplay-wise. So I think he's also going into the lacking depth, unfortunately. Yeah. Yes. Deirdre! Ooh, Deirdre. Ooh. That is a spicy one to unpack. I think that she is more than a damsel in distress. I don't think that all of the aspects of her narrative are done as well. Oh, what? Oh. Okay. Yes, kind of. I want to chide you, but I have been openly horny for Titania ever since I started Path of Radiance, so I don't feel like I have a leg to stand on for that. I mean, it's funny because in other... Yeah. Some of them are what? Oh, yeah. I mean, in some contexts, I am the anti-horny. But I used to be a lot more anti-horny than I currently am, actually. But also, Axor, it's like... it's actually kind of... Basically, the whole chat is, like, super horny for Titania. Yeah. No. Anyways, Deirdre, very interesting. I think that there's a few elements of her character that could have been handled a little bit more smoothly, looking at, like, kind of the kidnapping scene. But I think she works really, really well as the centerpiece to the tragedy between Sigurd and... the tragedy that occurs between her and Sigurd. I think that her dynamic with Sigurd is fantastic. I know that it's kind of ambiguous as to whether he's hallucinating or not. No, I don't think it is. Her conversation, her and Sigurd's ghosts talking to Seliph at the end of Gen 2 genuinely made me cry. I want to put her in genuinely phenomenal, and I might, but at the moment, I'm putting her at the top of moving. Yeah. 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 Alright. That's fair, but those... I mean, she has a really good conversation with Ethelyn in Chapter 2. And... Yeah, she has a really good conversation with Ethelyn in Chapter 2, which is also just... It's nice because it's something that... I confess, a couple of years ago, had I been writing something like this, it just wouldn't have occurred to me, and this is a mark of my own, male perspective and privilege, it just wouldn't have occurred to me to write those two interacting. But, they're sisters-in-law now. It makes sense. Anyways, so, Dew. I like Dew. He's fun. He's a fun little guy. Sorry? Oh, yes, it's Dew. Yes. Yes. He makes a strong impression by being what stands between Edain and death by thousands of axes, and also by usually often surviving those thousands of axes, because iron axes wielded by brigands in early game Genealogy the Holy War have the accuracy of a sniper with cataracts. But he actually has some really fun conversations afterwards. He has a really weird one. Yeah, he's quite a bit of character. He has a really weird one with Lykesis. That's a little sus. But beyond that, like, all of his romances kind of gloss over the fact that he's like 12, and aren't. Yeah. And he has a really actually good conversation with Alec in chapter 5, where he's basically like, I'm not going to run away. I know everybody's acting like we're about to die, and maybe we are, but I'm not going to run away. So I'm going to put him in interesting, and I'm going to put him above Arthur. I'll put him above Azel. I'll put him down just below Azel for now. Maybe he'll go higher. Yes. Is this Dermot? What does he do again? Yeah, then I guess it's what conversations, like he has a conversation with Lana, right? I don't. I mean, maybe it's been a. Yeah, I think like he doesn't have as much compared to Nana, which is an unfortunate thing to be measured against, but that's the case. Yeah. No. Edane is interesting. She is kind of, again, similar as Deirdre, like kind of the, damsel in distress at the start of the game. I think she does come into her own more as it goes on, and she uniquely is like one of the confirmed survivors of the very nice, not the very not nice thing that happens at the end of chapter 5, and not like oh. Yes, because she's literally the one. Because she raises like Seliph and her own kids, and I think Iris kids in Isaac. Yes. Derman, yeah. That being said, she is a little bit scant in terms of interesting combos in Gen 1. She has a nice dynamic with Jamka, and she has some fun conversations with Du and Azel, but I think I don't want to give her I don't want to put too much on the fact that she's, the mom, but that does give her some credit, so I think I will put her, I'll put her below Du and above Azel. I think I will move her because I do think I am putting a little too much stock into the fact that she survives. I think if I set that aside, I think I will put her. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, see ya. Go ahead, see ya. Thanks, Axor. Nice to have you. You too. Thank you. It was nice to have you. Well, yes, I noticed you had Black Myth Wukong going, and I was like, did you mean to be doing that? But it's okay. Don't worry. Okay, so I think I will. Sorry. All right. Good night. I think what? Yeah. I will put her above Arden. God, Arden is just so fun. I'll put her above Byron, but below Arden. Anyways, Eldigan. Oh boy, lots of spicy things to be said here. I don't know if we need to say everything that can be said about him. You and I have kind of talked it. I think he's a really, really interesting. He's a really, really interesting character. He's, I think, probably one of the better of the, sympathetic enemy general archetypes for a number of reasons, including, I was trying to not use the archetype name, because of a comment. No, I know, but I can't use that word, that name, without thinking of the existentialist, and I don't want to do that right now. Fine. I think he's one of the best. What? Oh, fuck's... How long? No. Fuck then. Fuck. Okay, Just really is this, this is the problem with having... This is the problem with having... with having no one in chat. Can you say something?
Yes. I mean, I've been talking.
Okay.
Still talking, in fact.
Okay, there you are. So, there was a period when you were getting picked up, and that stopped because I think when you restarted Discord. I think we were hearing Axor, but not you.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not doing anything on your back end.
No, I know. I could see the audio file. I could see like the audio levels going up and down, and I think that must have changed once you left for the restart.
Yeah, Discord is just a problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eldigan.
Eldigan, good character, probably one of the best, sympathetic general types in the series, because of his connection to Sigurd, because of his efficacy, sells you on how threatening he is, sells you on how, sympathetic he is by coming in to save your ass at the start, like partway through Chapter 1, which I did not know he was going to do, so I pulled back a bunch of my units, and then it wound up not having to do that, so I wasted a bunch of time. But really good, really like him. There's parts that I know Emmett does not agree with, but I am going to put him up here.
Yeah, so primarily where we disagree for those tiers is, I do like Eldigan, so I am going to put him, I think I spoiled this earlier, but I was probably muted. He's going in the same tier as Ares. He's good. I like him. He's got a really strong moment. It's also part little at the end. My problem with Eldigan is he's a Camus, but he's a Camus in a way that I don't love at the end. So basically, Eldigan dies fully aware that Augustria is doomed, because he kind of places his loyalty to the crown above the loyalty to the kingdom itself. Whereas most Camus tend to be a little bit more nuanced and also tend to be like, no, I'm doing this because I need to do it for the kingdom.
Oh, now you're back. Now there's an XR. Now there's an echo. I don't know why.
Headphones in, so there shouldn't be one.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, now. But yeah, so just for me, it's just so silly how he lets himself be executed. It's such a powerful moment that's ruined a bit by being like, Eldigan, are you really this dumb? Like, you can't, like, Chagall's an idiot. You know that your own death, and you've said out loud that Chagall is going to destroy Augustria. You know this, and you're still committed to this path. And like, so, on the one hand, I do respect the loyalty, I do understand the knightly loyalty, and that's why I think he's a really good character. But on the other hand, I'm like, shouldn't you also be loyal to Augustria itself and want for it to continue? And that's kind of my issue with Eldigan, so that's why I don't put him any higher than good. Like, because I really like him a lot, he's super compelling, super interesting, great dynamic with Sigurd, and yet that little bit of sour note just ruins it for me to not put him in good.
Yeah,
so he's going to stay in good for me.
Yeah. Alright, Aranice. I think you... I'll put him in compelling. And I think
definitely compelling. No lie there.
I might swap Deirdre around. Aranice, I really like her. I think that she does. I think that she, for the screen time that she has, it's used very well. And it's actually not that little screen time. She joins at the end of Chapter 2 and near the end of Chapter 2, and that's plenty of time for her to become established in Chapter 1 in Gen 1. I like her a lot, even if you don't pair her with Lewin, which I would recommend because it's a really nice pairing and also produces 2 extremely broken children. Yes, I know makes it that Fee has a little more magic than she needs, but she's able to use magic swords after promotion and staves after promotion, so she still benefits from it, and she gets such a high speed growth that she just becomes a dodge tank. But anyway, sorry. Aranice is nice. I like her a lot. I can't really think of any major complaints. Like, she has, I guess my only major complaint is that it feels like if you don't go for her and Lewin, she kind of loses a lot of opportunities to have interesting conversations. because I don't know what other conversations she has that are interesting. I know that she has like some nice scenes in Chapter 4, which is really heavily tied to her character and to Lewin's, but like in terms of like pairing conversations, like I don't think that I think she's a little shoehorned into being with Lewin for that to work. So I will put her in interesting above. I'll put her in interesting above Azel, and now that I'm looking at Azel, I think I will nudge him down below Altena.
Yeah.
And I will nudge Arthur down below Azel. I think
and
that...
So, just a reminder, because I think I was muted when I said this the first time, while Fume is ordering his characters within tiers, I am not doing that because I cannot be bothered.
Right.
And also because I don't want to make decisions on that final line.
But yes, so that's my reasoning, that I think she's a really interesting character. My only real complaint is that she's kind of shoehorned into being with Lewin in order to get the most out of her as a character, and that I think is a downgrade, is a drawback.
And for that, she is going in okay. She's got a really strong storyline with Lewin and with the other 4 Pegasus Knights. But again, for me, I don't find her that interesting or compelling. She's definitely above Meh. She's got quite a bit of character. Like, she's got a strong character, clear motives, lots of development. And even with all that, I just don't particularly find her compelling. So, yeah, she's fine. She's okay. Above Meh. Does a little bit more, but doesn't do enough more.
Yeah. Ethelyn. I think she's good. I like her a lot. She makes strong first impression as her first healer, as her first mounted healer, too. She has some good conversations with Quan. She has some good conversations with a good conversation with Deirdre. She kind of disappears for a critical chapter and then reappears only to die, unfortunately. But the times that she is there, she does make a strong impression with her dynamic with Sigurd and with Quan and with Deirdre and to an extent with Finn. So I'm gonna go ahead and comfortably put her near the top of interesting. Maybe one below. You know, I'm actually gonna move Erinys down a little bit because I think that I think Altena does. No, I think I'm okay with. Sorry, I'm gonna do a small reordering. Arthur's going down 1. Azel's going down 1. Altena can stay. Oh god, because Do is just so good. But
Do actually has a lot of character. Like,
yeah,
they really
I'm gonna put Ethelyn right below Do. I like her a lot. I think that Do just has a little bit more variety of people he can talk to, and also that's also thanks to more screen time. But for the conversation she has, Ethelyn is good.
Necessarily more screen time because Ethelyn joins in prologue, so she's around before Do is. So even though she leaves, she's still around in prologue.
No, I know, but
and 1 before he joins. Anyway, yeah, Ethelyn, she's good. No denying that. I think that's a great word. Good. In fact, she's going right in that good tier. The tier. Good. Yeah, kind of what Fume said. I like Ethelyn a lot. I like her dialogue a lot. Sadly, she just doesn't have a lot of variety in it. She's pretty much always talking to Quan, Sigurd, Finn, Deirdre. Just really the core cast of characters. Which again is great. She's a really great character. I like her a lot. I like her design a lot too. Actually, I really do.
I like
Ethelyn's design a lot. I think she looks really nice.
Yeah.
It's a really clean design, and I like her personality. I like a lot about Ethelyn, but I can't really say she's an amazing character, and for that, she just gets to go in good.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of not being able to say much as a character, why are there 2 females?
No idea.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put them next to each other because that will be an amusing thing to see.
I was only gonna put 1, but sure.
Okay, fine.
You do you.
I'll put only 1. I'm trying to see if there's like a difference in like their pauldron, but no.
I was wondering if 1 was a sub, which might be true, but I can't remember who his sub is. I can look it up.
His sub is
I don't think it is though.
No, his sub is Aselio, so that's not
Oh, that's not it at all. No, Acello is a very unique looking sprite. Yeah, I guess it's just accidentally 2 females in this.
Yeah.
Just put one. Pick whichever one you like more.
This one is above Lewin, and closer to Fee, so I like this one more. I mean, he has like 1 good conversation with Patty, and I don't know if he talks to anyone else.
I'm sure he does, but God, if I know it, because Footmount Archer Lamau. I mean, sure, he has a holy weapon, but everyone in Gen 2 is a holy weapon, so it's a little less special.
I am going to put him above Kypre, but below Kulain, honestly, I don't even know why.
I think Kuiper is more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think of the Gen 2 kids, he's really one of the least interesting.
There is unfortunately a situation where a lot of the Gen 2 kids, because they needed to account for different fathers and there's not as much in-depth, like, paired conversations, some of the Gen 2 kids have a lot less character than the Gen 1 counterparts to account for that kind of mix and match.
Sorry, it's not just the Gen 2 kids, it's the Gen 2 kids who are not substitutes. The substitutes actually have a lot of character because they get a lot of character from like extra dialogue.
Yeah.
Which I know just from other people who I have a friend of mine who really likes FE4 and has played a lot. I've only gotten a few of the combos because, like I said, I haven't used that many subs. For me, Fedal is he's a strong mech. Like really, there is nothing to say about him.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Fee is great. I love her. She yes. Fee does not have too many character interactions, but the ones she has are great. Ced, Lewin, Arthur, and they're just good. I like her a lot. I'm gonna put her. I'm so tempted to put her above Dew, but Dew is such a high bar to clear. I'm gonna put her right below Dew.
Kind of equal, whereas like they both have really strong personalities and they all have some really good stuff. Dew just has a bit more of it. Just because I think he actually has more conversations, like, numerically, and that's really it. Yeah, for me, Fee is going right in good. I mean, I like her a lot. Her conversations super funny. Very funny character, funny unit. But again, nothing outstanding to the point I'm like, oh yeah, this is a really good character. I like her. She's super funny. Kind of like Arden, again. A lot of character, but just, not much more than that. Which is great. Again, good is good. I like these characters. But nothing amazing. So.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the Army of Bean Dawn.
Yes, we are listening to the Army of Bean Dawn right now. I completely forgot. I can't hear the music, so I forgot. I'm going to change this one to kind of make it a... worthy of... curiosity. That's misspelled curiosity. Okay, so, Finn and the cooler Finn.
It's Gen 1 and Gen 2, but I don't really separate them.
I know.
Both in the same
it's Finn and the cooler Finn. He actually has some really interesting development across both generations. He runs into the problem of kind of disappearing in the second half of Gen 1, but he shows back up in a strong way in Gen 2, and he kind of stops being relevant in Chapter 10, but he's still got some really interesting stuff going on in Chapter 7, and then he drops off again, and then in Chapter 9 with Altena. Don't know if he's consistent enough for me to want to put him higher, but I think he is more interesting more consistently. I think he's more interesting when he does show up than some other characters, so I'm going to put him kind of in, middle of interesting, and I think I'm going to... I'm trying to think of... This isn't meh, because I don't dislike these characters actively. I'm just trying to think,
You can put meh, which is my, neutral.
No, I don't want to put meh.
To be clear, meh is not a dislike, it is a neutral expression. You can also put they exist if you're feeling particularly spicy. Or you can also put okay. I have an okay tier.
Fine, but
Anyway, Finn is amazing, and I will not hear otherwise. Finn is going straight. He's the second one. He's going straight to my secret T tier. And again, we'll find out what that means eventually. But yeah, for now, he's just gonna sit up there with Arvis, just kind of vibing. I like Finn a lot. He's great. He's, part of that probably is some Thracia bias, a little bit of FE5s creeping in there, because Finn is a phenomenal unit. But yeah, just his character growth and unit as someone much like Oifi and Shaman, who has been in their Gen 1 and Gen 2, is really it's spectacular to see that. The game does handle it really well. And especially with Finn, who, unlike Oifi and Shaman, were, Oifi and Shaman could not fight in Gen 1. And so, really, the only person... So, what we mentioned already, Adain is the only one who survives. Again, Oifi, Shaman, and Finn all can. But they can also die on the battlefield. Finn is the only person who was able to affect both Gen 1 and Gen 2. And he mentions it in Gen 2, actually, that he feels responsible in a lot of ways for how he handled where he was during Gen 1. He feels a lot of guilt about it. He feels survivor's guilt. And he's really just a phenomenal, character. So he's going right up in T, my top tier. That's not what it stands for, but going straight up in that T tier, he's great. I like Finn a lot.
That's convinced me.
We will not be benching Finn.
That convinces me. I think I am going to nudge him up a little bit. God, Doob just makes such a strong impression.
Doob makes a strong impression, bro. I mean, come on, my boy Finn in Gen 2? Gen 2 Finn showing up with the 2 scrubs at the castle and being like, I gotta defend these people with my
life. You know what? That's enough. That's enough. I will.
Or if you want, you can split them up. You have Gen 1 and Gen 2 Finn, and it's up to you. I kept mine together. You may split yours up if you desire. I
think I want to keep them together so I don't lose track of them. Anyways, Hannibal. Yes. Sacrifice to Julius and Ishtar. But no. I mean, he's interesting. He doesn't get enough conversations, but he is not. Why is this not justifying the way I want it to?
Because tier maker is janky, and I really would not worry about it too much.
Okay.
Oh, it's the Camilla tier. Oh, never mind.
The unrealized potential one?
Uh-huh.
I think I'm gonna just put him here because he just doesn't have enough chances to talk. He has two conversations, and he's important in the lead up to chapter 9, but that's about it. I'll put him above Byron, I guess, because he has presence.
I actually disagree with that. I'm going to put him in my good tier. I think he's a really interesting unit. I think he's a really good unit. I think even just with that little bit that he has, he's super compelling. He's really fascinating. He shows a lot of nuance to the story, to the characters, to the plot, to the setting. I just think he's a really interesting character, so I'm going to put him in good.
You know what? Seeing some of the other people I have here, I am actually going to put him near the top of this. I'm not going to put him above. Okay, no, these two have to stay. No,
again, you can put him wherever you want. I just think even for my personal thing is even though you're correct, he has very little relevant dialogue outside of his joining chapter. But I think that just what he has in his joining chapter is so impactful that I think he's a really good, well-rounded character with just that, which is impressive. So, that's why my decision. Your decision can be different.
I'll put him here. I think that they're. I want to. Let me try. Got it.
I mean, don't overthink it is what I'll say.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Alright, we got, what is this,
That is Hawk, and that is someone who I've actually gotten. So, Hawk and Hermina, who are the,
Sed and Fee.
Sed and Fee replacements, are both actually pretty good. So, mine, unlike Fume, since I've activated them, Hawk is going in the good tier. He's actually really interesting as a character. I like him a lot. He's basically similar to Sed, but without Holy Blood, so it's actually even more fascinating that he basically holds the Magi together and does what he does without Holy Blood. So that's actually really cool. Hermina's not as interesting, but I do remember her being pretty fun. She's like a discount fee, so she's going okay. She's good. She's definitely above meh. But Hawk is actually just really good. I like Hawk a lot. So.
Yeah. That's
and we're back with Ishtar. This one's
Ishtar. All right. I personally am not as sold on Ishtar as others because I do think she falls into the problem of she realizes there's so many problems, but she's doesn't actually do anything about them. And yes, I know that it's because she feels trapped by it, because she's in love with Julius, because she doesn't think that she can do anything else. I don't think that there's anything wrong with her. I just think that she's a little overrated. I will put her still in interesting because I do think she is interesting, and I will put her above those three. but I think that people put a little more stock in her than is merited.
All right, well, I've been waiting for this because, Ishtar? No, just go right there. Done. Bad. I think Ishtar's a bad character. Let me explain to you. So anyway, kind of what Fume said, I don't like Ishtar because I really, really strongly dislike her character and her motivations. And I will contrast Ishtar, as I often do, with Selena from FE8. Ishtar does what she does because she is in love with Julius, which is a great motivation, and I think people do things for love even if they know they're wrong. Where this falls apart, and why I think Ishtar is a bad character, is because Ishtar also knows that Julius has changed. She may or may not know why, but I think she has an inkling. She doesn't know for sure, but she knows a little bit about it. She kind of knows, like, Ishtar knows what's going on. Ishtar is very high level because of her relationship with Julius. And Julius is interesting because he does, show some sort of remorse, and he's still connected to Ishtar at least a little bit, although not too much. He doesn't really mourn her death that much. But despite all this, she still is very wishy-washy in a way that I really don't like, because she kind of already knows the person she loves is dead, and just cannot turn on that, which normally something I like. Like, I really actually like Selena in FE8 a lot, who realizes all that and says, no, I'm going down with the ship. Like, I know what is going on, and I've made my choice. Whereas Ishtar is just really wishy-washy about it, and it's like, I know all this is horribly, horribly wrong, and that Julius is, like, dead and possessed, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And that I really dislike. So I really dislike her motivations because it doesn't feel committed enough. Like, I really wish, again, like a Selena in FE8, like if Emperor Vigard, possessed by Lion, was like, hey, go burn down a village full of children, Selena would have been like, fuck it, okay, we ball. She'd be like, that's a terrible idea, but we ball. Whereas Ishtar would like hem and haw about it for like 20 minutes and then do something else anyway. And I'm like, just commit to it. Like, and again, that's really the difference. Is I do love the motivation, and I respect it a lot, and I actually think it's a really good motivation because love, by its nature, makes you do a lot of irrational things. But I think it just does not work for Ishtar because they tried to make her sympathetic, and in trying to do so, ironically, they actually made her unsympathetic.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, and I kind of think that some of that thought and thinking in my own head is backlash in my own mind to the way that she's pedestaled a little bit in the fandom. But yeah, I think I'm not quite going that far with it, but I do.
Ishtar, that's a good character. Sorry, just joke. I mean, he's okay. I don't really know.
Okay, this is Yohavier. This is the one without the mount, right?
Yeah, this is the non-flirty one. I think that's Johan, and Johavier is the other one, the flirty one. I don't know, or maybe I got it reversed. Anyway, that's the non-flirty one.
This is the non-flirting one. Because
that's the one without a mount.
Okay, because I got the one with the mount because, duh. So I didn't actually use him. I can't say too much about him. I'm going to assume he's kind of okay but unrealized potential, owing to limited conversations.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the same as his brother, really. Like, down bad for Marcy, kind of doesn't like what his dad's doing. That's it. Yeah, I put whichever one this is in meh, and I put the flirty one slightly higher in okay, because he's flirty and it's funny and silly, and it's funny to think that he betrayed his dad and stabbed him in the back all over being horny for Larcy.
And his brother.
Yeah, he deserved that. No, I mean, jokes aside, they do actually, like, even for the horny one, it is a pretense. Like, he's still going after Larcy, but he's like, yeah, I really don't approve of my dad in the child hunt, so I'm still joining you guys. I mean, and even Larcy says when you get to them, she's like, I really don't think they're bad guys. They're kind of dumb, but, like, they ain't doing evil. So, yeah, I'm gonna put them in meh and okay.
They're dumb, but they're horny.
So,
yeah. So, Yamka. I really, really, really liked him until he stopped really existing. He kind of, unless you get his conversation with Brigid, or if you have him with Edain, and unfortunately Yamka did remain a bachelor until the end of Gen 1 in my game. I think
a more desirable husband. Shaking my head. No skills in the mouth.
He didn't really keep his strong positive impression. I thought that he was really interesting as like, the one prince of Verdane who's not a scumbag, who is trying to help their dad, who, kind of has to deal with this dilemma of inviting a foreign country in to deal with this problem, and then, kind of ultimately turning, Verdane over to Granvale. But and then him like letting Edain out, him kind of conscripting to do that, him navigating that's all really interesting in Gen 1, and it just doesn't stick. There aren't like conversations about that in Gen 2. Like, he doesn't have a talk with Sigurd about like, so hey, you're also invading this other country, what's going on with mine, kind of thing. Like, that doesn't really ever get addressed. And so I think because of that, I have to put him at the top of fine but unrealized potential. But he does make a really strong first impression, and so I can't call him meh.
Yeah, much like with Hannibal, I've got him in good. For when he's actually around and doing things, he's a solid character. Like, he has a really strong part in his chapter, and for me, that's enough. I think he's a good, well-rounded, well-realized character. But yeah, I agree, he's boring. Like, he doesn't really do much after that, and that's fine. That's why he's only in good and not very good.
You know what? That's fair, and that's why I will put him there. I've got a substitute for Patty, I think.
Yes, I've never used this. Oops.
All right, Julia.
Hang on. Oh no, it got me. Hang on, I'm gonna have to. You might have to readjust my screen. It got slightly messed up after I put too many units in a tier.
Okay.
So I pressed. I've shrunk it.
I can't see it, so.
You should be able to see it now.
I'd see it not.
How about now?
There we go. Nope, and it's gone. Okay.
Just let me know when it comes back.
Alright, it's back. So now
Yeah, sorry about that. I put too many characters in the tier. And incidentally, that might happen again, so,
Be prepared, yes.
Be prepared.
Yes, okay, so, Julia. Julia is... I want to say she's interesting, but she does kind of... I think she doesn't get interesting until chapter 10, or like this, until she starts having conversations with Arvis and such, and until like the end game situation. I think before then she's something of a non-entity in a way that's a little frustrating. So I'm going to put her. I'm gonna put her at the top of unrealized potential, or maybe at the top of unrealized potential, because
No, go ahead.
Because I think that and the more I think about it, like, she has a really good conversation with Arvis, and that's kind of it. I don't think she does actually acts much else out. Like, she's the vessel for Naga, and like she's acts that out. She does
not have a conversation with Arvis. She's not in your army then.
I mean, I didn't mean like a conversation like that. She talks to Arvis, and that at the end of chapter 10.
Oh, yes, before she gets hauled off.
Yes. So I think that's a good conversation, and beyond that, I can't really think of any other that she has.
Yeah, and that's why, bam, second character in the bad tier list. Julia is a plot device. She is the magical MacGuffin holder of the Poem of Naga, and nothing else.
You know what?
I mean, she's very pretty. She's very pretty, but yeah, no, I really think Julia's kind of just a bad character. She got nothing. I don't really have much more to elaborate on other than, like, I mean, that's why she feels like she's there. She truly is just a plot device.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Doesn't do much, doesn't say much, only almost convinces Seliph to commit incest. Yeah, bad character.
I'm gonna leave her here for now, but I might move her around. I've moved around a few others.
Entirely your prerogative.
Yeah. Julia.
Big bad himself.
The big baddie himself. Julius / Loptir Loptus. I think that once he shows up, he's got good presence. I think that in the scenes that he's in, he's got good presence. He invites questions of, you know, his motivations while also still being very clearly somebody that you need to stop. He certainly doesn't hit the same notes of sympathy or complexity as Arvis, but he also does feel like a character you want to know more about and want to stop. I think that he's I don't think he's simplistic, but I don't think that I don't think he's simplistic. I think he's perfectly serviceable. I will put him. I think that this tier is a little crowded because, like, you've got people. Well, first off,
have you seen my tiers?
I've
already gone to a whole nother bar, my dude. Or not quite yet.
Yeah.
I don't know why the cropping got messed up, but whatever.
Let me check yours again. I mean, my only
I
thought.
haven't changed it, so it's fine.
My only thought is just that I feel like this tier here, like, it's kind of run the gamut between characters I don't think have much, and characters.
I mean, you can split it up if you need to.
I don't want to. That's just gonna mess even more up.
So don't. Anyway, Julius. Originally I had him here. I was like, yeah, he's just Dark God. I don't think he's interesting. And then I thought back to all of his lines. I was like, actually, though, I kind of like it. I think he's a really well-written, like, he's just straight up evil, but I think he's a well-written straight up evil. So I don't know if I want to put him in okay or good. I'm actually gonna put him in good. He wasn't bad, but then I thought more about his lines. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of one note, but like it's working.
Yeah,
and if it's working, who am I to judge? You know.
Yeah. So the more I think about this, the more I'm kind of dragging Azel back a little bit. I am gonna I do have
hold you back.
I do have.
I mean, you know my thoughts about him. He's right in my meds here.
I know. I do have to put Julius above Altena and Aranese because I think that he just does more and more consistently once he does show up.
No, like I said, I actually thought about it, and I think he has some really strong writing. I'm actually all for putting him up. Again, I don't think he's interesting. I don't think he's remotely interesting. But I think for being a just straight up evil dude, I think his writing's great.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do a bit of a I can't believe I'm doing this. This is a mistake. I'm gonna do a split. So insert a tier. Let me say here.
How many more do we got? We got a fair chunk more. So.
A lot. Some of them are substitutes. A very few are substitutes, and a few are pretty slow. Okay, hold on a second. Add a row below. This row is okay, so this one I'm putting good. Yes, I know I need to fix the crop now. Yeah, well, but this is fine. And then, put you up here. But yeah, no, God, the more I think about it, like, Beowulf, yeah, sorry, Beowulf. Okay, let me now fix the crop quickly.
I continue to have no idea why Discord is such a pain, but oh well.
Yeah. Anyways, now
we get to a great character.
Yes, like Lykesis. I'm really tempted to put her in Phenomenal. I think she's genuinely one of the best characters in the game. I'm gonna currently put her in at the top of moving, maybe competing with Ira.
Master Knight Broken.
I think that she's got a lot of depth that exists mostly in Gen 1, but still carries over a bit into Gen 2. I think that she has some really good dynamics with a number of different characters and good conversations with a number of characters. I'm not talking at all about the whole, Eldigan thing. I'm not talking about that right now. But I think that she's got a lot of really interesting character traits, a lot of really good conversations, and just I really liked seeing how she came into herself in as a character, and I think I'm gonna put her in the top of Keep Moving. Or I think I'll put Ira above. I'll put Ira above her.
Yeah. No, I mean, same for me. I think Lachesis is a great character. I'm putting her in very good. I could consider putting her up in T tier, but for now, I'm just going to keep her in very good. I echo everything you said. Great conversations, great character, strong character, deals with a lot. There's an amazing scene with her in one of the FE4 mangas that's just
Yes, I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. And she's just a really good character. Yeah, I think the Eldigiments are handled better in the manga too, which is actually really funny. The game is a little too happy-go-lucky with it, but you know, it's there, it's fine. Create some drama in Gen 2 for Ares, but yeah, I think this is a really good character.
Yeah. So Lana, she exists. I don't think she has much in the way of character traits.
She's the nice cleric archetype. That's kind of it.
Yeah, I think I'm putting her below, maybe above above Kyber.
Yeah.
She has like she's her biggest claim to fame is she ends up with Seliph a lot because she's always healing him, but I think that she
joins right away, so she also just sits
she joins right away. She has some starting love points with him, and she is going to be near him a lot. So yeah. And she does have a nice conversation with him, but it's also like one that he could have with some of the characters. Like,
I mean, again, she really is just nice cleric archetype.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's going straight up in this meh tier, just right there, meh, done.
Larcy, she's fine. She kind of feels like Ira, but you know, younger, less mature, which is what she is.
She does not feel like Ira at all.
Okay, you know what? That's fine. She's a lot more pugilistic. She's a lot spunkier. So,
she's a lot less mature.
Yes. I mean, and she's a lot younger, so it makes some sense. But, I don't think there's anything wrong with her. I just don't think that she does much interesting. She's got, like, an interesting conversation with Shannon, but, that's...
You mean the one where they hook up?
Yes.
With your first cousin?
Yes.
Look, I don't make the rules. Knaga does that.
I'll put her, like, around Hannibal. Serviceable. She's serviceable.
Yeah, I've got her in, really does just look like Lars 2.0. I think I put her in, what do I have her? Do I have an okay or good? I have her in okay. That makes sense. Yeah. No, kind of, she's fine. Again, she's above meh. She's got a lot of personality. I don't love it. I don't love Larce. I think it's kind of hard, too, because Ira's just so good, and Larcy's not.
Yeah.
But even without that, like, it's cool they're wearing the same earrings, at least.
Yeah.
No, she's there. She's fine. She's a really fun unit, but yeah, just kind of meh. So she's going in the okay tier. She's fine. She's good. She's alright. Alright, Lelia.
I know that I haven't used her, but I know she's reasonably interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean she's going in my hang on a second. She's going in the vulnerable dancer tier, which is good. I think she's good.
Good.
Also, you might have to fix the crop because I really did fuck up a tier again.
I can't see. You have to come back in. I can't see.
I know. I will in a sec. Okay, there you go. Yeah, no, I'm putting her in good because much like with,
I don't see it. I don't see it still.
You should.
There you go. Okay. Now fuck. Don't move anything.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah. So much like with you know, Sylvia and Lee, who we'll get to.
Okay.
I didn't move anything.
No, I know you didn't. Okay, so what happened?
Much like with Sylvia and Lee in this game, the dancers just have really good stories. There's really good backstories, just really good all around. So yeah, good character. Are you done? Can I continue moving around?
Almost done. Okay, done. Cool. Yes. Okay. Cool. So, and then moving on, almost done. Leaf, the boy. I think he's more interesting in the game that he is the protagonist of, but that's to be expected.
Gee,
He's still perfectly fine for this game. He has some really interesting conversations with Nana, with if they end up together, with Altena, with Finn, with Seliph. I think that he's fine. I like him. I think he doesn't reach the depths, as I said, as the game where he's literally the protagonist, but that's to be expected. I think that he's interesting, but he's I think I'd put him either at the bottom of very interesting, or at the top of serviceable.
yeah, you're gonna put Leaf in Mech. I actually find him really boring in FE4 compared to 5, but yeah, he's got a little bit of juice, so I'll put him in okay. Again, just I really don't find him that interesting in FE4. He's okay. He's got some stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It is lacking to FE5, so that's fine. We'll put him in okay. It's okay. And I think this is Lean.
This is Lean, and she's great. I like her. I think I'd put her at the top of very interesting, at the bottom of compelling.
I mean, as I said, Dancer's good, and whoops. And so Dancer she's going right next to the other Dancer in the good tier, because the Dancers in this game, phenomenal.
Yep.
Great backstories.
Yes. Lester, Lana's brother, who pretty much has the same characteristics of her as he's an archer guy. But I don't think there's much else to him, unfortunately.
There really isn't.
Lewin, one of the other...
Yeah, hang on. Let me throw Lester in Med real quick. Lewin.
I think Lewin is the first character I'm going to put up next to Arvis and Genuinely Phenomenal. I think he is... I think there's a strong case to be made, and I think I actually am currently going to put him before Arvis. As my favorite, one of the best written characters in the game, if not the best. There's just so much that's done very well with him. I think the only complaint I have about him is really that I think he gets a little too much exposure, because I think in Gen 2 his presence means that Boyfie and Shannon don't get as much screen time. But
well, I mean, that's also by necessity, because they have to be able to die.
I know. Well, that's a whole other issue, but yes.
Unless you want them to retreat, but not to be defeated, but not fall there, and they had to make the retreat.
Yes. I think he's so good. There's so much interesting with him in both generations, and so much that yes, it is now Lawrence the First Vicar that we are listening to. We have finished with the Elden Ring and the Fire Emblem, and are now in Bloodborne. And then the soundtrack is about to loop, actually, because that was everything I had the time to add. Yeah, he's got so much depth in both generations. He's, charming, but there's pain. He's running from responsibility, but it's not romanticized. There's consequences, but he learns from them. The fact that it looks like he doesn't actually has some really interesting and tragic reasons behind it. The fact that he's such a terrible dad also has tragic and interesting reasons behind it. He's just a really, really good character.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. For me, he's actually not placing as high. He's not in my T tier. He could be, potentially. I can put him in very good. He is a phenomenal character, just like all the other characters in this tier. Really strong writing, really compelling moments. He does, again, as you mentioned, have more time than all of them, so he just really has a lot of time to shine. And that's really cool. So he gets a lot more than them, but yeah, he doesn't quite get up to the top. Like I like Lewin a lot. Yeah, I'll think about that one. Maybe he goes up, but I think for now it's just very, very good. Like, he's, again, phenomenal writing. You know what? Sure, we can actually put him in there. He is a really good character.
Yeah.
We'll put him in the T tier.
Yes.
It doesn't change anything.
All right, and now Lex, the boy. I think he's great.
Mr. Rhymes with Sex. Let's go.
He's wonderful. I think that he comes off as just kind of playing off of Azelle, but then he has his own interesting elements. I mean, the conversation with the lady at the lake is it's funny, but that's not one the really best parts. The best parts are his conversations in Chapter 5, his conversations with Ira, and I think he also has a really good one with Bridget, maybe, if he ends up with her. I don't remember. But I think he's good. I think he easily is like. I think he's easily like near the top of the compelling for me, or maybe the middle or bottom. I would say I kind of prefer some of Claude's existentialism a little bit more, but the more I look at this, the more I think that maybe if this is Ares. Ares is the one in black, right? Yes. Ares can go down a little bit, I think, just because there's... Ares can go down, I think, to the bottom of truly compelling.
He can go right next to his wife.
Yes, yes. And then I think Lex... Very surprised to hear you say that. Happy, though. And I think...
Well, I mean, they got good chemistry. What can I say?
They do. And then I think Lex can go just below Claude for me.
Besides, I've never shied away from advocating strongly for firearm eugenics.
Right. I think...
Anyway, yeah, Mr. Rhymes with Sex, he's good. He's great. Love him. Very funny. Going in that good tier.
Yes. All right, and then Linda goes there.
Oh yeah, I didn't use her either. Sorry, Linda. Langbald.
Langbald, Lombard. I think of the three like evil noble antagonists, what's the called? Oh my god.
Trifecta?
No, not the kind of trifecta, but there's another.
Triumvirate?
There is.
Try something.
No, it's no. I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking of the duology. I think of the duumvirate of him and Reptor. He's a lot less interesting than Reptor, Lombard/Langbald. I just think he's a lot less interesting.
No, he's much less interesting, but he does have an absolute banger conversation with Lex.
He does, yes. Medir. Medir.
That said, I do agree with you. I put him in my meh tier because, he that conversation is absolutely banger. But yeah, there's nothing much interesting about him.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's kind of just a flunky to rep. He's kind of just a flunky to Raptor, and doesn't really do much else.
Medir is the most difficult boss in Dark Souls 3, only competing with Black Flame, Sister Frida, and Father Arundel, Black Flame Frida. The key is to make sure that you go for the head, because once you get Medir to about 10%, 15%, that will leave him open to a critical hit, which will then basically empty the rest of his health bar, basically letting you skip good 10% of his health bar at the fight. Unfortunately, Medir in this game is not nearly as strong. He kind of has that part of that, I like a Edain coalition that also consists of Jonka and Azel.
That is his entire personality. Do not kid yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And his conversation with Bridget is pretty much just, wow, there's a twin. So I'll put him.
His conversation with Bridget is, I hope you realize you're playing second fiddle to your sister.
Oof. I'll put him at the top of Black.
I'm just putting him in meh. Like I don't even think he's bad. He's really just uninspiring. So he's going right into the meh category.
Yeah, I'll put him.
Then it's another sub I've never used.
Nana. I think Nana's great. I don't think she's as consistent as her mother, but I still.
I like Nana a lot more in F5, I have to say.
She is. Yeah, she's a lot more in F5. But I don't think she's bad in this game. I think that I'll put her. I know that you thought Leaf was bland. I don't quite agree. I think I'll put her around Leaf, not both because shipping, but also because I think that she's probably because like the situation like oh no wait I forgot she has a really good conversation with Ares. I think I'll nudge her up a little bit over. No, I'm actually happy with this because I think that I don't think she has quite as many varieties of good conversations as... Actually, no. She has more interesting conversations than Ethlyn. A wider range of them, I should say.
Yeah, so for me, Nana is good. She's a good character. Going right in that good tier, again. A lot, she doesn't really rise above it to, like that really good character that just separates them. Again, Machisis, Era, and Claude all are just phenomenal in their own ways. And Nana's really good, but she doesn't quite reach that, so she's going in good.
Yeah. All right.
Again, and I do think this game has a really strong cast.
It does, yes. I just realized that we only have one other substitute, so let's see how we can do. Now say.
I mean, we'll be fine.
Noish Nause, he's fine. I think he has a little bit less going on than Alec does. Just because Alec has like one fun conversation, and as far as I know, Nause does not.
You're like, he is 0. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
So I think he is my only Gen 1 who's going here. I mean, he's not, there's nothing wrong with him, he just doesn't have much happening.
That's why he's going right into the meta tier, which is now expanded to the second line, so you may or may not need to, you may need to recrop again. Sorry, I'm doing my best. Yeah, no, there's really not much to say. Hopefully this is the last time Theme has to do this. Hopefully. But yeah, there's really not much to say about him. Of the rest of the characters, I can go through most of them pretty quickly, honestly. There's only like 2 or 3 here. I think it's actually gonna, I think Self is really the only one remaining who we really need to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I think all the other characters is kind of clear why they're good or bad.
Yeah.
Also, let me know whenever you're ready.
Yes. Oifi's good. I like him.
We're ready. We've been recropped.
Yes, we've been recropped.
It doing it again. Oh no, it's not.
Hi Vincent. We're at the tail end of our Genealogy of the Holy War tier listing of characters.
Let me know if my thing is working or if I'm gonna have to quit Discord again because it's being annoying.
It says you have minimized your application again.
Oh,
God, but it's us.
Me...
Alright, come back in. Come in and come back.
Yeah.
Alright, are you saying something? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you if you're saying anything. Alright, Emmett's coming back. Give him a second. Yes, we hate Discord too. That's why we use it every single day.
God, I hate Discord.
Alright, let me just make sure that you're not muted. Say something?
Please do.
You are not muted. You are not muted.
Functioning again. I mean, you'll have to, you know, crop it probably, but... God, I hate Discord.
Oh, I guess my playlist stopped, so now we're just listening to Suralon's theme extended for 30 minutes. Well, hopefully you like listening to Dark Souls 2 extended OST, which is fine. Alright, no, it looks like the crop is fine. Alright, so, Oifi, he's good. I like him. I like him in both generations.
This is all fine? Okay, super.
I like him in both generations. In the first generation, he's got a fair bit more presence, but his scene at the end, like halfway through Chapter 5, is genuinely heartbreaking. He kind of falls out of focus in Generation 2, but he's still got some really good conversations, especially with Seliph, and I think he has one with Shannon. I think he's interesting. I like him. I'm gonna put him above Leaf. I'll put him above Leaf, and above Ethelyn, below Nana. And I think I'll put Leaf at the top of Find.
Yeah, Oifi is great. I like Oifi. He's going right in the very good tier. His mustache certainly helps. He doesn't really do much in Gen 1, so I'm kind of iffy about putting him here, but I really like, I like Jagan, but also I just like Oifi in Gen 2. I think he's really good. His penchant to sleep with the younger members of Seliph's army is a little concerning. Almost considered moving him down for that one. But hey, strange things happen in war, so yeah, Oifi, very good. Also, I'm not muted, am I? That would be unfortunate.
You are not muted. Say something.
I mean, I just had a whole speech about Oifi and his mustache.
Yes, you are not muted. So, Patty is nice. I like her. She's got some spunk. She's got a nice dynamic with Shannon when she shows up. She actually has a really fun dynamic with Lester. If they're in a relationship. It's actually kind of cute, which is making me want to nudge Nestor up a little bit, but it's still only one thing. I will put her above. I'll put her above Larcy. And there's nothing like. I mean, I really like her opening dynamic with Shannon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put her at the bottom of interesting.
So yeah, if this was the manga patty, bam, instant top tier. She's completely, absolutely unhinged in the manga.
She's
like
totally
just
nuts.
psychotically unhinged. Amazing character. This is not the manga though; it's FE4, and so she's just good. She's a funny character. She's very silly, very funny, and so she's good, but not completely unhinged.
Quan, my boy. I think he's like near the top of interesting. I think he's more. I think I would call him. He only has a few conversations. I'm gonna put him maybe partway or
tragically the least. Quan is tragically by far the least interesting of the trio. Also, kind of racist towards Thracians.
They deserve it. I'm kidding. I do think.
I mean, do they though?
No.
But I guess they did kill his dad.
They did kill his dad, yeah. And they
or
killed him.
granddad or something.
And they killed him. I'll put him at the top
Yeah, but he didn't know that at the time.
I'll put him at the top of very interesting, or at the bottom of compelling, because I really, really love his conversations with Ira. He has a really good one with Ira. It's really good.
Yeah.
And he has some good ones he has a really good one with Finn, and some good ones with Ethelyn. Although now that I'm saying it, those are kind of not the only ones, but they're some of the only ones he gets. And he has a nice one with Sigurd. I'll put him above above Fee, below Dew, because I do think he has more to him than the others here.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's kind of the same. Again, oh, come on. Yeah, he's going right there and good. I think he's a good character. I don't think he's amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he's good. And I like him. I like what he has in the story. Again, I love that trio, so yeah, good.
Cool. Reptor, he is more interesting than Langbolt, substantially less interesting than Langbolt, Lombard, substantially less interesting than Arvis. This is gonna sound weird to put him next to Byron, but I will.
Feel weird. Honestly, to me, it feels weird to put him in unrealized potential, because I think he realized his potential just fine. I think he did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, then I'll put him at the bottom of fine.
Like, I actually have Reptor in good. I think for what his role in the story was, he did a really good job of it. He was a really good villain, and he had clear motivations. He did everything correct for what his role in the story was supposed to be. So taking that into consideration, yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Lister, I only know Skaha. Anyway, yeah, it's Lister.
Skaha, Ulster, he's Larcy, but a little less interesting. I think I'm going to maybe make this to.
Could be, but you just could be better. But yeah, that's pretty much where he's going on my tier list too. I'm putting this fellow in okay. He's right next to his sister, and by next to I mean behind Leaf, but next to his sister.
Yeah,
in fact, you know what? There, fine.
It feels so wrong.
Even though since this isn't noted in the tier list, I'm just gonna put him next to his sister. It's nice. It's a nice gesture. Yeah, he's just fine. Doesn't add anything.
You know what? I'll put him next to his sister too.
Well, I mean, mine was in the same tier. That's different for you, but you can do that if you want. I think he's okay. I don't think he's anything special. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's there.
Okay. Seliph. Oh god. Do you want to go first?
Do you want me to go first?
I would like you to.
Alright. Seliph. He exists. I don't hate him. If you thought I was going to put him in bad, you're wrong. He is not going in bad, he's going in okay. Because Seliph is fine. I find him very generic as a lord. I don't find him particularly compelling. I really do not like how wishy-washy he is about murdering an evil cult. I think he has some amazing conversations, but I think those conversations are good because the characters he's having them with are good. Like, talking to Ghost Dad Sigurd, mwah, chef's kiss, amazing. But that's because Sigurd's really cool. Talking to Arvis, beautiful, fantastic. But that's all because Arvis is really cool. I really don't think Seliph has, like, again, talking with Lewin, that's phenomenal. Because Lewin's really good. Seliph does not, like, he's similar to Roy, honestly, where he just really, like, Roy's pretty bland. I like Roy a bit more because he's got some stuff with, like, Lelina and a few other things that make him feel a bit more of a character, but really, in general, he's still got, and this is understandable because, again, it's only the 4th game of the series, he's really got a bit of that Marth syndrome where it's like, yes, the Lord of the series, the Lord of the game, the Lord, who he does Lord things. And, yeah, but I don't hate him anymore. I used to really dislike him. I've replayed FE4 a couple times since then. I was like, yeah, I don't hate Seliph. I just don't like him, so he's okay.
I really, really, really like him. I think that he does a really good job of addressing and kind of embodying some of the concerns that Genealogy is built upon, of kind of cyclical cycles of harm, of kind of, recognizing the fallibility of his idols and the people he looks up to, recognizing what he needs to do differently, what he needs to do better. He's certainly smart. He is empathetic. I personally don't think that the moment where he feels sympathetic or regretful about killing the Lopjanes is a weakness, a failing. I think that it does illustrate, like, the moment exists so that A, he can learn to be better, and B, so that Lewin can yell at him for thinking that. And
there were just so many better opportunities. Like Ishtar was a really compelling boss.
Well, except
like Liza and Ishtar were really good, but they kind of they could have had that instead, but they just didn't choose it.
Well, except they were doing it in the context of, like, this is evidence of their oppression, and this also ties back into Arvis' story of why he was afraid of his blood. He only says that when they're in the, like, Eid Desert Temple where they took refuge. He's not, like, saying that in the middle of the child.
I know the context. I know the context of it. It's just very problematic because they didn't show that Lopton cult as different. Like, they didn't have, for example, in terms of gameplay, the enemies didn't run away from you and try not to attack you. The enemies didn't, like, fully, like, there's a lot of ways, but the gameplay doesn't do that. The gameplay is like, here's a bishop with a Fenrir tome and a ton of Lopton mages trying to kill you.
Except at this
point.
point.
From a gameplay standpoint, from a gameplay and a story standpoint, up until then, the Loptons have been doing.
I mean, except
trying to kill you at every turn, have turned the Empire into a hellhole, and so you really just don't. Even if the game just tells you, "Hey, they're sympathetic now," it doesn't feel that way as a player.
Well, the thing is, they're not sympathetic now, but he's talking about how they were sympathetic in the past, and that this is a continuation of those cycles of oppression.
So the game doesn't show you that; it just tells you it.
Except
and if
it wouldn't
impactful.
It wouldn't show you because that's been in the past. They wouldn't be feeling that anymore.
But there's no. But that's the thing, is there's no build up or to it outside of that one. I mean, yes, you're right. It loops into Arvis's part. I think that's maybe its strongest point. But otherwise, it's really just Seliph coming up and saying, "Gee, this is a shame." And at that point, like, in the current situation, we're like, "Bro, we are trying to save the continent. This just does not do it for me." I do hear you, and I know we have our differences.
I don't agree with that. I'm going to put him. I'm gonna put him above. This is again. I'm so sorry. You're not gonna like this. I am gonna put him kind of.
I mean, he's the main character. He gets a ton of screen time. I wouldn't mind you if you put him in the top tier. I just personally don't like him.
I'm gonna put him at the bottom of moving because he's got some really. I'll put him above Deirdre. He's got some really, really, really fantastic conversations, communications, and I just really loved his arc over the course of the game. Not just like, finding himself, but also just kind of realizing the complexities. Like, and yes, I know that it's because Sigurd says it, but like kind of his like, you must learn the sorrow of the common man, I feel does really embody Selif's journey as a whole. So I really like him. I really like him.
I mean, it does, but once again, that's just Sigurd being
I know. Shaynan. I wish he got more screen time. He's really super, super interesting for the screen time he gets. He does have some really good conversations with Patty, with Sigurd. He's got some really good story importance, but he doesn't have story presence because he is killable, which is a damn shame. And I think that is a mistake. That's another conversation. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. I think that is a downside of the system that they used, which is unfortunate because I think if not for that, he would have had the chance to talk as much as Lewin did, or at least closer to as much as he did, or Lewin would have had less chances to talk, and it would have been more equalized, and that would have made him easily one of my favorite characters. As it is, he has so little screen time that I can't really justify putting him, like, I can't justify putting him above Dew, and I really want to, because he just doesn't have the range of character conversations that Dew does. He doesn't have as many options to bounce off of other people. So I'm putting him above.
So you may not be able to do that, but I can. If this was Shannon, instant 10 out of 10, top tier character, absolute goofball. This is not Shannon though, it's Shannon, and for that he's gonna have to go down one tier into very good. I think he's really good. He's also going down a tier because he can sleep with his first cousin, and that's just creepy and wrong. So Shannon, don't do that. But yeah, no, I think he's a great character. I like him a lot, even though he doesn't have like a ton of screen time. I don't think you need it to be a good character. I think as long as you make a big impact when you're there, much like with Hannibal, I think that's great, and I think he's impactful. The looter narrative, like, of the gameplay, Shannon's like this super badass, comes with a bomb on the sword. It's all good shit. So yeah, I'm throwing him in very good. He can join his aunt.
Ira? Ira is
and I like that dynamic of how, like, I think Ira's his aunt.
Ira is his aunt, yes. Her brother is Shannon's father. You know,
that's what I'm saying. I have them in the same tier.
You've convinced me. I will not
because it's also just like I really like the dynamic as well. It's sort of he's taking on Ira's role. Like he does look up to Ira and idolizes her a lot, which he mentions. And so I think that's really cool, and I like how he takes on that role of that swordsman unit in Gen 2 as well.
You know, you have convinced me. I will nudge him. I will nudge him up to the.
I mean, I wasn't trying to convince you, but I'm glad I did.
Well, he's not. He's still going to be below a tier, but he's now right below his aunt.
So this is just unanimous, right? Like we know where Sigurd's going.
Here?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't.
Yeah. On my tier list as well, Sigurd is also going into the T tier. I mean, come on, it's Sigurd. He's just.
I think that there's not much that needs to be said. He's a genuinely fantastic protagonist. His flaws are evident, and his downfall is tragic, but you also understand how it happened. You understand what elements were under his control. You understand what elements were not under his control, and there were a lot. And
Sigurd's just truly a fantastic character.
It's a really fantastic character.
Relationship with Quan and Eldigan, how Chapter 5 just unfolds with the loss of his sister and his brother-in-law. Just the gut punch of like getting Byron back and having him killed, and the whole thing, and his journey to get there to chapters 3 and 4 in Augustria, or chapters 2 and 3 in Augustria, with dealing with Eldigan and just a position he doesn't want to be. It's all fantastic. It's just so phenomenal.
Yep, exactly. All right, Sylvia. Sylvia is great. I think that she's does not quite have the same awesomeness as Lean, but she's damn close.
Really? I think she actually has a better personality. She just doesn't have the same story bit where it shows it, but it does a lot about it in her conflict with Lean. I actually like her more than Lean, to be honest.
You know what? Yeah, you are correct. I like her.
Lean and Lelia have a really good singular story bit that's phenomenal and really shows what Sylvia's been building up to. But I think Sylvia herself just has the better personality and the story.
You are correct, and she actually has some really good dynamics with everyone that she can be paired. Almost everyone she can be paired with. Specifically, like she has good combos with Claude, she has good combos with Alec, with Lewin. You're right.
Yeah. And so for me as well, she's going in that dancer tier of good. She's a great character. I like Sylvia a lot. She brings a lot to the game. She's funny, also a dancer, very good. So yeah, just good. I like Sylvia.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna nudge Eldigan up one.
All right.
I'm gonna nudge Shannon up one. Tail 2. I mean, if we're talking about depressing fates, then she gets like S++++, but we are not. But she's still really interesting. I would say I'm gonna put her at the top of compelling or bottom of moving.
Yeah.
I think I'll put her up here because I think Teeny is has a little bit less to her.
I think T has a lot less to her, personally. But again, your tiers are different than mine, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tal 2. Unless you have more to say about Tal 2.
Well, no, don't, just that
yes. Yeah, so Tal 2. On the one hand, she could be here, because I like Tal 2 a lot, and she's a great character. But because of what the T tier is, and because I actually do really like Tal 2, I'm putting her in the T tier. I think Taltu's a great character. It is not T for Taltu, by the way.
It is
in
T-
fact, this is actually the last character who will go in that tier, so we
Is
could
it-
reveal its name.
Wait, is it T for is it T for tragic?
It is not, but that's close.
Tragedy?
No, it is actually T for
Trauma.
trauma.
Yeah.
This is the trauma tier. And that is why Taltu belongs here, because even though all of these characters suffer their fair share of trauma, she's the only one who killed herself over it, and it's really sad and really, really, really depressing.
Yeah.
And I really like Taltu's personality a lot. I like her character a lot. I like her interactions with the other party members a lot. And her end is really depressing and tragic and sad, and makes me depressed. And for that, I think she's a great character.
Yep. Teeny. Teeny is, I think she's a fair bit less interesting than Tail 2. She has some, the more I think about it, the more I think that it's a fair bit less. I will put her, I'll put her at the top of fine. There's nothing wrong with her. I just think that she feels a little bit like Tail 2 again, but it doesn't end badly this time.
Completely different. That's why I like her a lot less.
Maybe I'm just getting tired, but I'm struggling to remember how she's completely different.
She's a bit of a crybaby. Taltu is extremely, energetic and vivacious and very outgoing. Teeny is a bit of a shy crybaby.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So I'm putting her at the top of fine.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, kind of with Miami, where she's just sort of prone to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teen is good. I like I said, I don't dislike her. She's good. She's gonna sit right here in good. She's a good character.
No.
Nothing more to say.
I'll put her above Patty. Okay. Actually, we only have one. Yeah, you're right.
I'm just kidding. You can put Teen wherever you want. Yeah, how about we just put this guy right in the subunits, and then we move on to the very interesting last character.
Yes. Just because I can, I will put Fidel in twice.
Sure.
Or I could make a separate tier, but no, that's not a good idea.
No, that's just insane. Don't do that.
Shervant, I think he's really interesting. I know exactly what you're going to say about him. He's interesting.
You know
I
what?
don't. What?
No, you cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
I know exactly what you're going to say about him.
Do you? Interesting. We'll see if that's correct.
You've told me before, but I'm not going to try to guess at it now. I'm too tired. But although if I tell you what you said is what I thought you were going to say, then you're just going to say, but you only said that because I already heard it.
No, I was going to say, if you're thinking about the manga, I actually was not planning on going into it.
No, it was not the manga. I was thinking about some specific phrasing that you have used very consistently whenever you're describing him to me.
Interesting.
But he's really good. He's a good character.
I think what it is. That's interesting.
He's a good character. I hate his guts, but at the same time, I don't sympathize with him too much. I hate his guts, but I do recognize where he's coming from. But that doesn't mean I sympathize with him. I will. I'm happy to put him at the top of. I'll put him in the middle of compelling because I think that ultimately Lex is like Sylvia, and I'll put him maybe at the bottom of truly compelling. How do I do this? I'll put him.
You tell me, bro.
I'll put him here. He's compelling, but he's not the most interesting antagonist, but he's really, 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 really well done for what he is supposed to be, which is a combination of sympathetic and deeply unsympathetic.
Yeah, I really like Gervant. I think he's a really good character. I think he's got a lot of complexity, and that complexity's done well. I think it's been very good. I think he's just kind of. He does a lot. He really comes off as kind of a dick. He's a bit of a scumbag. He just shows up, starts killing people, leaves, kills Quan, leaves, and you're like, wow, what an asshole. And then it really, really devolves and changes a lot from there. And becomes a lot more interesting, a lot more dynamic. He starts talking more with Arian, especially, and then grabs a silver lance and yeets himself at your army of holy weapon users. And just really a phenomenal character. That just is you're really not sure what to feel about Trevant at the end of the day. And at first you really want to hate him, and then you're like, I don't know if I can though. Yeah. And yeah, it's really hard to know. So at the end of the day, yeah, I'm putting him very good. I think he's a great character.
Yeah. well, that is the list. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of Emmett's. And,
I mean, I could just send it to you if you want later.
Yeah,
There's no you also have it recorded. There's not really much of a need to screenshot. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah. Also, I will put Fido. Oh, I can't put him back. Shit. Oh, and he's living next to his twin, for some reason.
You can put units back if you want.
No, I can't put them back into the thing I thought.
Oh, weird.
But yes, this is Oh, well, I did... Oh, no, he's still here. Okay, so, these are our character tier lists. This is probably... I don't know if we're doing one tomorrow. It depends on if my computer is back or not. If we are, then it's probably...
We probably will. You thought it was going to be until Saturday, right?
They said Friday or Saturday.
Ah, so we might be back to doing some FE9 tomorrow. If not, FE5 is also pretty short. We could do it.
Yeah.
If we had to.
Anyways, yeah, this was the stream, everybody. Thank you for coming. Sorry for the
if you disagree, feel free to put it in the comments section, Lamau. And also, you're wrong.
Sorry for the technical issues. Not entirely sure what happened.
Oh my god, that was a mess.
Anyways, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining
Bye-bye.
us. Bye-bye.